Today we are going to start a new game in survival, and I'm going to give you some tips for getting started. So we're going to do a new game. We're going to do Voyager. Pilgrim is friendly wildlife. If you're just starting off, I would suggest starting there, even just for a week before you jump into wildlife. It's easier just to figure out the mechanics of the game. But for today, we're going to do Voyager. We're going to start there. I like to start off in the coastal highway. There's a lot of houses. There's a lot of basic things to help you get started. Things as basic as a can opener or an axe or knife. Things like that that you're going to want to get initially. Some of these other places like Forlorn, Muscat, Bleak Inlet, Broken Railroad, things are much more sparse, much more challenging. Mystery Lake is good as well. Pleasant Valley is a little bit more limited. These other ones also very sparse. So I suggest Coastal Highway. I think that's a nice point to start, and then you can venture from there. You could go straight to Pleasant Valley. You could go out to Desolation Point, and you can go to Mystery Lake. So we're going to start here. The only thing is, in town, lots of houses. There's also lots of wolves. So we'll see how that goes. We're just going to turn some of these on, I guess. Okay. And rename this. Is a body frozen, you will see birds circling it. So that's usually a giveaway that there's a body. Bodies can have food, knives, anything like that. So first we're going to check in this trailer. It's also a save point. Anytime you enter a building, it's going to save. Okay. So here we have some food.
Hope I can still eat this.
I'm going to take that. Let's see what's in here. Cloth, we're going to need that. We're going to be repairing our clothing. We usually never get good clothes in good condition. Let me see really quick. It's driving me crazy. I have to turn on VSync. Okay.
Thank goodness.
Energy drink. I've never actually used one of these. But I'm going to take it with me just in case. Accelerant. There we go. Can opener. Great thing to start with. Now, on these beds, sometimes there's pillows, or down bottom, I can see there's a pillow, there's an old bedroll. You can, once you get a knife, you can harvest them. There's another can opener. You could harvest them for cloth, for repairing your clothing. But looks like we got about everything in here. Always check the beds. A lot of times there's clothing on the beds. But I think we're good. So we're going to leave here and start heading back. Well, not back, but down to town. To the houses. There's an entire town. Get these technologies. Just to speed things up. You've got to watch how you fall. You can't spring things. Gently drop here. You can see the red mark on the right side of the screen. That shows that you're in rough terrain. And you're sprain risk. It means that you can end up spraining something. You need pain killers and a bandage, things like that to help with those, so you don't want to go into rough terrain if you don't have to. So I'm going to look down onto the ice. There are, on this map, we do have wolves, we have bears, and they're kind of scattered in this map, so we're going to keep an ear out. We are already half frozen, so I think we're going to have to make more of a direct path down to town. But you will hear bears walking. I'm not sure if you can hear deer when you're trying to hunt. You might hear them crunching in the snow. But again, this is a save point along with a spot for resources, so we're going to check in here.
That'll come in
Windbreaker,
handy.
that doesn't do a whole lot, but we'll take it with us anyway. Let's see, a book. We could use that for fire, starting a fire. So what do we have in here? Cured leather. The leather is just like the cloth, except you'll use that for some types of clothing, I believe, but I usually mainly use it for shoes, repairing shoes. Flares scare away wildlife. Dog food is edible with no repercussions for eating it, besides your character and you getting very grossed out for eating it. But you can eat it, so rather than starve to death, eat dog food. I'm heading down into town where there's going to be more food, so I'm not going to worry about that. Now, we're going to check out our clothing. This is our items screen that just has everything we're carrying. But when it comes to clothing, you also have the tabs up top, and you have a whole clothing one here. I like this because this shows you the bonuses for everything down in the bottom left-hand side. So we're going to put this on just because we have nothing on here. And there we go. We have 2 windbreakers. We have no gloves on, so we'll put these on. And oh, look at those jazzy shoes that we have. But see, they're made out of leather. If we needed to repair them, we have the cured leather that we need. You do need sewing kits to repair. And I'm not sure if it starts you with the... Oh, it starts you with a sewing kit. That's the green box. Starts you with some necessities, including the sleeping bag, which is really handy. Now, if we're going to be wandering where there's going to be wildlife, I'll leave a flare in my hand, so I could light it real quick if I need to scare something away. It's better than getting attacked. So, okay, we saved in there. We warmed up a little bit. We're going to keep moving. I'm familiar with this map. There is no map in this game to actually keep track of everything. I've done it many times. That's how I know where I'm going. But I can tell you that it's the water and the houses. The houses are near the water. The water is down on the lowest part of the map. And then you go up the mountains to kind of get to the ways out of this map. So, you know, to head up the mountain if you want to find a way out. And, you know, if you want to find houses, to just keep heading down the mountain. Looks like there's a little hut up top there. You can remember that. But right now, again, we're half frozen again already, so I'm actually going to run a little bit. How long you can run is based on your energy level and how much weight you're carrying. Here we go, we're getting down by the water. On this map, we have 2 islands out in the water that we could get to by walking across the ice. But there are a lot of wolves on that ice at different times of the day, different days. So we'll have to watch that, but we're just going to keep heading down and trying to get to the nearest house in town. Now, we heard birds while I was just talking. Sometimes you hear them randomly. If you keep hearing them, that means there's probably something dead nearby. It can be a body, a human body, or it could be an animal body. If it's a deer that you didn't kill, chances are the meat probably won't be very good, or there won't be very much of it. See, we still hear birds, so there should be a body somewhere nearby. You will see them circling the body. They won't be on the ground or anything, they'll be up in the air circling. But we got down to the road, so that's good, because we're still kind of freezing, so we already things in a little bit. Oh, we got some trappers down here. Okay. This road does run across the map. If you follow it this direction around the water, it will take you over to Desolation Point. There's another area in between, kind of a transition area. Here? No. And we can't go in there. There we go. See, there's an example of the birds. Something's dead over there. They're circling it. Might be a person. Maybe not. No, it's an animal. It's a deer. Now, I don't have anything. All I have is my bare hands, and it's frozen, so I can't do anything with it. But the birds are the giveaway. We found shelter, so we're going to save. Another windbreaker, we already have 2 of those on, so we're not going to take that. Whetstones are handy. We'll use that to sharpen our axe and our knives. They will get dull over time, and when you find them, they probably won't be in the best of condition either. And there's another type of flare. We'll take that. We don't need the book. Really not much in here. Now we can sleep if we wanted to warm up a little bit and pass maybe an hour by. We're already over halfway through the day, so I'm not going to worry about that. If I sleep, it's like in real life. If you sleep now, if you take a nap, then you won't be tired at night. And it's nice to sleep through the night, because there's not much to do. That is boarded up. We can't get in there. We can't do much with that frozen deer. If we have a clear path out to an island, maybe we'll go there. The houses are decent size out there. We also have fishing huts on the way. With the decent size houses, you're going to get more to search, and you might find more clothing, more necessities. We have a deer out The deer, in my opinion, you could get meat from them, but I have a very tough time killing them. I've shot them multiple times. I shoot, by the shoulder blade, where you would normally shoot a deer, and by where the heart is. And it doesn't matter. I've shot them, then they run, and I've had plenty of deer that I never recovered, and it was just wasted bullets. So I tend to shoot either a bear once my skill gets better, or a wolf if I'm going to shoot anything. But I mainly, in my survival games, I mainly do fishing.
Hope nobody needs this anymore.
Once I can make the fishing hook, you could see the separate hook and the line on here. You could craft the hook, and you could craft the line from, especially from intestines of animals. You could craft a lot of them, and it becomes, especially on this map, there's tons of places to fish. It becomes the easiest way to get food. Now we can see right in the middle of the screen, this is a good example to show you, there is a fire tower. If you see the red in the very middle, up top, that's a good place to potentially find a rifle, a hunting rifle. There should be a rifle on all the major maps, like Mystery Lake, and here, Desolation Point might have one. The rifles are obviously invaluable when it comes to hunting and staying safe. We're on Jackrabbit Island. This gives you a nice view, again, of the mountains, of the water all around you. In that direction there is the little town where you have lots of houses. There's a gas station full of food. We're going to get up in here and see what we can find in here. Maybe we'll find a rifle. Berries here, rose hips. We have Old Man's Beard lichen I saw hanging on some of the trees. You can use that for very good bandages that help. That you could craft that are very good for healing, especially after a wolf attack. It's nice to have something like that on you. But with the temperature, I'm going to go in here. This house is a lot smaller than I thought it was, but we should have plenty to look through here to help us get started. We've got another flare, which we're going to leave that one for now. Again, we have regular books. These aren't good for much except for starting fires. These shelves look like they have cans on them. You can't interact with those at all. But you can, if you have an axe, you can bust down the shelf for wood. We have work
This stuff
boots.
will come in handy.
They're pretty beat up. They're tougher than the shoes I have on, but I think I'm going to hold out and see what else I could find. In this kitchen, we're going to have lots and lots of food. Dog food also. Remember to check in the microwave. And also the refrigerator and freezer. Sometimes you could find meat in here.
Is it food or?
We will take that. We'll take the soda. Soda will fill you up along with quenching your thirst. And our, you can see that our drink, our hydration meter, I guess you could call it, in the bottom left is about halfway down, and our food is as well. So we'll go in and, let's see, we can eat one of these bars and drink a soda. One thing to remember is once you start really venturing around, weight is going to be your big enemy. You're going to be maxed out in weight all the time, especially if you're hunting. If you get a bear, it's 80 pounds worth of meat that you got to figure out how to cart back and forth. There's no weight penalty for food or water, soda, liquids that you eat and drink. So keep yourself completely hydrated, completely full if you're looking to ease up on how much weight you're carrying. So, okay, we're going to put our flare away now. We're going to check the oven also. Make sure there's nothing in there. Those are empty. That's where we came from. I'm not going to get too much food because I know there's going to be a lot more coming. find something else.
Hope I can still eat this.
We'll go with that. And a soda. Spray paint we really don't need. I'm not gonna worry about that. Kitchen chips, beans. Now you'll see some things are dusty, some things are banged up. The very low quality food you kind of take a risk of getting sick from once it gets down into the yellow. See, banged up. We have stale. Those aren't too bad. Once meat gets down into where it's rancid, that's where you don't want to eat it. It's not worth getting sick. You can look at your afflictions on these tabs up top also, and it'll give you a hint as to how to heal, what you're going to need to heal, what's wrong with you, if you want to go through there. Now, there is a map that you'll make yourself if you want to keep track of things. You'll make that from using charcoal from fires. So if they had a fireplace in this house, which they do not, we can take the charcoal, and that'll allow us to kind of sketch out the area, and that's pretty handy. So we're going to search the bedroom. We'll usually find clothing in here. We already have those shoes. We'll take the dress shirt.
What have we here?
Another dress shirt. We'll take that for now. If you do find clothing that, say that you want to repair, it seems really good, and you're out of cloth, you could also harvest cloth from the curtains. Okay. Got
That'll come in
painkillers.
handy.
Definitely want to keep some of every type of medicine on you as you travel around. Because you don't know what you're going to run into. It could be a wolf attack. We'll take ragged socks. I tend to take a little bit of everything, and then I'll go through it all at once and wear the best and harvest the rest. Oh yeah, we got some good stuff in the suitcase. So we're going to go over to our clothing tab. We're going to put on our scarf. We're going to check out the boosts that are underneath the clothing on the right hand side. See, as we hit the LB and RB, if you're using the Xbox controller, it shows you the difference between the two. So if we want to obviously keep the higher one, and if we're not going to use this, we're going to hit X for actions, and we can harvest it. Now, it does take 20 minutes of your day, so you have to watch that. If you're just sitting harvesting lots of clothing, then before you know it, you would have gone through the whole day. And there we go. Now we have cloth to repair anything we need to repair. But these aren't the best. Cargo pants, worn jeans. I'm going to put them on. I'm not going to waste the time or the materials to fix them up. Wool socks are the best socks. There's different types of wool socks, though. I think there's climbing socks, something along the lines of that are the best that you're going to find in the game. But wool socks are still very good. I will take the time to repair those. And we'll put on our... Looking at our stats underneath, the hoodie's probably the warmest when it's completely fixed up. So we're going to put that on. And now you can see our bonuses down the bottom left-hand side. They're getting up there. We got 8% protection. That's against wildlife attacks. We got 5 degrees of windproof bonus and 11 degrees of warmth bonus. That's very good to start with. Not so good for wandering around, but we're off to a start. Search this cabinet. You'll find towels and things like that in the bathrooms that could also be harvested. Always keep an eye out for medicine boxes.
Where's the good stuff?
Bandage. Absolutely need that. Another thing to always remember when you're going house to house, the toilet tanks are an awesome place to get water. Every toilet has water, and it has a lot of it. So here we find a half a gallon of potable water. And potable, think of that as you could put it in a pot and drink it if you want. It's clean. So now we have a half a gallon of clean water. Okay, eventually, if you stay in one area for a while, you will run out of the manufactured food. That stuff will you'll run out of the good stuff. You'll end up with a lot of bad food that you probably shouldn't eat. You will end up drinking water from melting snow and eating meat. I think maybe we'll take these and try these out. And then I think we're ready to move on out of this house. So we'll go over to our tab and check out the difference. So you could see that the work boots offer more protection, but they're not even as warm as these dress shoes because they're in good shape. So we're gonna keep those on, and we're just going to. We already have some cured leather. We're just gonna drop these for now. Leave them there. Keep our weight down. And that's about it for this house. Doesn't mean we can't come back and look around once we're looking for things in particular.
Hope nobody needs this anymore.
Mittens almost passed by. Always look underneath the furniture also. You'll find things under there, especially rifle shells could be real sneaky. And there is a button to squat down also if you want to see underneath things. But that's about it for this house. This house has two doors. We'll go out this one. And we'll head over into town. Oh, it's already getting foggy out, snowy. Visibility's getting down. So, we don't have a ton of energy left now. We don't have a ton of daylight left. You can see on our little thing up top that the sun's going down, the moon's coming up. So, our goal is to get into the house. I like to make my goal to get into the house that I'm going to stay in for a while by the end of the first day. Here's our old man's beard. Let's see. Here it is. Old man's beard. Like. Take that. You need a few pieces at least to make an upgraded bandage, but it's a bandage that heals. Good, so it's worth making. I have noticed in this game, I don't know if it's a coincidence or not, I'm not sure what's completely random and what's not. Seems like when the weather gets bad, there's less animals roaming around. So, it might not be a bad time to get over to our house that we're going to stay in now. And I usually pick one right in town. That's for fires. We got more dog food. What's a dog food? Cloth. Fishing line.
This stuff will come in handy.
Second can. We can use that for melting snow. And heating up. When you melt snow, it's not drinkable. You do have to boil it. I like starting a fire here to keep warm in any of these fishing huts, and then doing my fishing. And I'll sit out all day and get as much fish as possible. So we have some deer out on the ice. Again, I feel like I usually only harvest as many deer as I need to get their skins and make a deer skin coat, which is very, very warm. As a food source, they seem to be a waste of time. It's hard to drop a deer in one bullet. They usually just run and run. Again, you can see our fire tower up top. Rifle may be up there. Sometimes you could spook the deer, and they'll end up hitting a wall or something like that, and they'll turn around and run right at you. That's a good time to shoot them when they're really close. But I don't have have a rifle yet. I have an abundance of food right now. Not worried about it. Now on this map we do have multiple spots where bears roam. They seem to have a path that they take every day. The bear cave is over here. I'm kind of almost looking at it. Seems like in the morning he comes out of this cave and starts wandering around the island. Sometimes it seems like whatever time of day I come out of my house over in town there and start wandering across the ice to him, that's right when he just happens to be coming out of the cave. So it might not be by time of day, it might be by when you are near he comes out. But right in the middle of the screen now, there's a little entrance in that rocky area. That is his cave. But this little fishing dock over here, that shows us that that's where the heart of the town is. That's here, so that's where we're going to head. Wolves do wander on the ice in this area. It makes it very difficult. But again, weather's kind of bad. And there's no wolves to be found, so that's good. When I'm out on the ice and I'm looking to get back home, I look for this fishing dock, boat dock, whatever you want to call it. Bit, just to speed things up. I did have a survival game over 500 days. It's not compatible with the new update. But I did get that. I have been playing it since early access. I have a game with 100 some days on Xbox as well. I did pay for the new survival update. And I've really enjoyed this game every step of the way through all the updates, through the changes. Now we didn't have wolves down on the ice. We could have wolves in town. You will hear them usually before you see them. They do howl. Again, it's starting to snow. That could be a sign that, okay, they're nowhere to be found. I usually, every time I play, these houses are random as far as if they're going to be burnt down or not. In my other survival game, this house is here, and I've made that my main house. I like it because there's a lot of wood usually to be found here. I just come out and have an endless supply of wood. I'm kind of in the heart of things. That house is burnt down in this game, so I'll probably make this one. And it's because it's close to wood. It's kind of on the edge of town, so if there are wolves in town, I'm kind of away from them. I could slip out onto the ice and go that way, or I could go up the mountain and go that way, and I don't have to interact. Oh, I just heard some kind of animal. Could be a wolf. Or it could just be a sound effect. But we want to get in here and save. Let the game save. Okay. And see, these houses have a nice fireplace. I'll stockpile wood and drop it right here on the wood pile. I'll make this kind of my home. I'll pick a cabinet and kind of use that as my main storage. In here we have, we'll definitely take matches and accelerant. I will go through. Ooh,
I think I can use this.
Definitely want that. Again, another toilet. That means lots more clean water ready to drink. Every house that we go into, we could get that. But water does weigh a lot, just like in real life. It weighs, I believe, 8 pounds per gallon. So we have to watch that. It doesn't put us
I'm
way up
gonna
and
need to
over
rest soon.
our carrying capacity. There's another hoodie. That's pretty worn. I don't think it's any better than what we have. I'm not going to go into a complete in-depth search of this house, since this video is just kind of showing you how to get started. But I will go into the fire. And how that works, again, here's take charcoal. So if we take charcoal, I'm going to go outside quick, and I'm going to map out the town. See, I'm surveying it, mapping it out, and there we go. There's our map. So this is the coastal town site. Shows you we got some houses and some vehicles, things like that. You could wander around this entire map doing the same thing, and then you will have a map. And you can do that to every different area in the game. And now back to making a fire. So start fire. We have cardboard and wood matches. You can see the chance of success up top is different based on these. So 75% up to 80 when we use wood. So wood are the best. They're pretty easy to find. I always end up with so many wood matches that I never have to use cardboard matches. I just store them away. So we're going to leave that on wood. Next we have our tinder. So see, we have a tinder plug. Now you will get these when you do harvest the big tree branches that get you multiple pieces of wood. And then we have newsprint, newsprint rolls, anything like that we could use. It doesn't look like any of them change our chance of success, so it's whatever we want to use. Next we have our fuel. I'm not holding any wood, so all we have is that one book I'm holding. That will change your chance of success. And now if all you have are some things that kind of stink, you could use the accelerant, and it boosts your chance of success right up to 100%. So even if maybe you're out in a storm or something, you need to make a fire to stay alive. Oh, it got dark in here quick, huh? I'll just use the book for now. If we needed to get this up to 100, the accelerant will always do that, but it is limited. You can also use lantern fuel as an accelerant to make it light. Our chance of success, the fire starting base chance we see up top is 40%. It's only going to burn for 18 minutes, which isn't really long enough to do a whole lot. But we're going to try that. We're going to go up to our wood matches. And we're going to try it without the accelerant. If it doesn't work, then we'll just go back in and use it. And once the fire started, we can add fuel to it. So there is wood sitting on the ground there. I can pick it up, add it to it, and it'll add another hour or so. Looks like it's going to start. Yep, and we only have 14 minutes.
What have we here?
So we're going to click back on it. We're going to add fuel. Throw that piece of cedar on. Now we have over an hour. A lot of times there's matches on the mantles here. Keep an eye out for those. While it's burning, we could add fuel. We could take a torch. The torch will scare off wildlife also, or at least keep them at bay. We could cook. You could heat up your soups and things like that. It doesn't give you any more calories or anything like that, obviously, but it will give you a heat bonus that'll help keep you warm if you're going to be venturing out into a storm or something like that. When you use these cans, you will carry the cans themselves, and then you can use those for melting snow and then boiling the water. And here's our option. If we go back in, our last option was for water. So see it. This is your vessel that you're going to use to heat the water. And it looks like in a can we're maxed out at about 0.13 gallons. And it shows you on the right hand side time to cook 19 minutes. This does show you the water is going to be unsafe. And in the description it says water that will or may make you ill. So you could try drinking it, you might end up getting sick from it. So it's only step one. One nice feature that wasn't always in the game is if you click on it, you can pass time until ready. So we're just going to hit X, and there we go. Snow is melted, and it's water, but it's non-potable, non-drinkable. So now if we pass time again, It's ready to go. But don't wander too far. You know, if you're going to want to go chop wood or something while you're waiting for something to cook, or want to drink something, you can see it will boil dry. Same thing with the food, it will burn. So we want to get it out of there. We'll drink it. What it'll do... Oh, it's not going to top us off. Now, if we were pretty much full of water and we tried to drink it, you drink however much you could fit in you, pretty much, and then the rest will go into your inventory. We're going to pick up our can in case we end up going to a different house. We only have 9 minutes left, and we're pretty exhausted. I'm going to fill my belly with some food because I'm probably going to sleep for quite a while, and while you sleep, you get hungry. I'll just have these chips. You get hungry and thirsty. I'm going to top my water back off. The chips do make you thirsty. Some of the other things do make you thirsty. Okay, and now we got to find our way back to the bedroom. I use the windows. Try to go by memory. If I get lost, there's the bed. If I get lost, you could use a match. And don't use your wood ones. They're better. Use a cardboard match. So from here, when we click on the bed, it shows you up top pretty much what time of day it is. You can see it's nighttime. It's about a quarter of the way, third of the way through the night. You could shuffle up top those tabs with LT and RT. We've got sleep and pastime. Sometimes you're not tired. You just want to pass some time. If you wake up and it's dark out, you could pass time until the sun comes up. You might not be tired enough to even sleep. So you just pass, it just makes sound of you playing cards, and you just pass time until, it could also be to get through a blizzard. Maybe it's an absolute blizzard outside, it's 30 below, the visibility is 0, you literally can't go anywhere. Then you just come in and you pass time. Once you get tired enough, then you could switch over and sleep for an hour, recharge your energy meter a little bit. We're exhausted, so we're going to sleep. You can sleep as long as you want. I'm just going to do 12 hours, and I'll wake up when I'm rested. One tip before you do go to sleep, make sure that you're healthy. This is something that has killed me in the scenarios in the game, and with permadeath, you don't want to fall into accidentally dying or anything like that. Make sure that you're healthy before you sleep, because once you start to sleep, you won't be able to snap out of it. So make sure you have no afflictions. Make sure you don't have a nasty infection or something like that, because by the time once you go to sleep, it'll kill you in your sleep, and then that's it. You're done. So always make sure you're healthy before you sleep. We know I'm healthy. I'm just going to sleep for 12 hours. See where I'm at when I wake up. I know I'll be thirsty, that's for sure. There we go. I woke up fully rested. I'm dying of thirst, literally. Sounds like weather isn't pleasant outside.
Tongue feels like sandpaper.
Oh, I'm very, very thirsty. So I have the water still from the toilet tank. I'm just going to start by filling up. Okay, I'm hungry. I can eat something in a little while. By pressing start here, I can see what time of day it is. I slept right until the sun was fully up, because I was very exhausted, so I needed about the 12 hours. It's usually not good when you wake up and you can hear that bad weather outside. We'll take a look out and see what we're dealing with for the day. And I'm going to wrap up the video very shortly, because it is just a video to get you started. Now you can see here, obviously, visibility is terrible. You can see by my little temperature meter, you can literally watch it go down on the bottom left-hand side. It is absolutely freezing out. We can see on this screen here, it feels like it's negative 27 and dropping. So we don't want to venture anywhere. It's a day at home. So we know we have enough food. If we have to venture to another house, we can. I don't think you're going to encounter any wolves or anything. It's just you got to keep your bearings because this is very bad. But you will freeze to death very quickly out here. Once your meters get down in the left-hand side, once they get down to 0, you'll watch your health bar below it just keep going down and down. And once that runs out, then you die. So we're going to go back in. We also do have another menu that I didn't touch on yet on an Xbox controller. It's LB, and it's kind of shortcuts. We'll start going counterclockwise here. Starting at the top, we have light sources. You will get a lantern at some point. You'll need it if you want to explore every area of the world. There's a lot of caves and tunnels, mining tunnels, things like that. I mean, you can get through with matches, but you're going to really use a ton. So you want a lantern, you want backup lantern fuel. We have our drinks. We have our first aid. When you get attacked by a wolf, you can go right in here, and here's everything we got. That's first aid. There's more in the game, obviously. Stim packs, things like that. Fire. This is how you're going to start to fire out in the world, okay? You could click on this to put down a sleeping bag wherever you need. It kind of has to be obstacle-free and flat. You'll use that, say, we ran into a blizzard like we have going on outside, and we were in a map that doesn't have any shelter whatsoever. You have that, where there's no houses. And you have to go in a cave, or you have to go in up against a wall that's blocking the wind. There's wind protection. You could, that's how you would place your sleeping bag, and you could do it right near your fire. So if we go back in, campcraft, fire. If we select that, I don't think we can indoors. You'll be able to place your fire. Oh, there we go. We don't have enough fuel to actually start it. So, navigation. There's our charcoal for making our maps. You can create a little rock cache to act as a marker. This is the map that we've made so far. And then spray paint to mark your way. Drop decoy, that's something that you can do when wolves are chasing you. You have to craft it at a crafting table, and then you have your weapons also. If you accidentally come upon a wolf or a bear and it sees you, and you don't want to go in and go through and select your stuff, this is a great way to get to your weapon quick. If you're going to be fighting for your life. Other than that, as far as buttons go, RB was to run. We had Y was to get to this menu. And again, this stuff is pretty self-explanatory. You will find skill books in the world. They are very, very, very handy and valuable. They will boost your skill levels as far as shooting and crafting and things like that. Fishing. We do still have to search this house. Might actually find one in here somewhere. I don't think that they can be found in drawers, but I'm not positive. I think usually they're laying around, and you'll just pick them up. I wanted to go through too. Again, we do have these the tabs up top in this menu, very handy. This was the afflictions, and then the clothing, which I found the thermal underwear. We want them on. These, I think there is a better version of thermal underwear, but these are worth taking the time to fix up, kind of like the wool socks. And then with the backpack, that's obviously just all of our stuff. Here we have crafting. We could do some of this stuff without a crafting bench. You can see underneath the requirements for something like this, it does say workbench. So you can't craft this without a workbench. But if this is lit up, you got a check mark. So we have the ingredients. You can see next to the little hand icon under the requirements, you can craft this anywhere. And you're just crafting it right from a cloth. So if you're bleeding, you need to stop it. this will show you, again, you could get an idea if you're thinking, maybe I won't hunt bear, maybe I'll just stay away from them. Or maybe I won't hunt deer. Every time I try, they get away and I just waste my bullets. This shows you not only what you can make from their skins, and you could get these skins from deer that are already dead in the wild. These don't have to come from deer that you hunt. If a deer is down on the ground and you can interact with it, then you can get the skin from it, and the guts too. You can see underneath the requirements on this here, we need 3 cured deer hides, 4 cured guts, and we need to make it at a workbench. In this town, there is a workbench inside the gas station, which is right near where I'm at right now. And you can make all this stuff there. Now, it does say cured. When you get this stuff from an animal, it's not cured yet. So you will have to just drop it. I drop it right in my main house. Select it in your inventory, hit the button to drop, and it'll get, it'll show you when you look at it pretty much. It'll say, 10% cured, 20% cured, and then once it's fully cured, then you can craft with it. But this shows you the bonus on this screen of wearing this stuff. Again, these pants alone, you can see underneath the icon of the pants in the middle of the screen, 3.6 heating bonus, 3.6 wind bonus, 60% water. I guess it holds off your saturation from water when it gets wet. The wetter you are, the faster you freeze, so it kind of repels the water very well. 10% protection against animal attacks. When you get all this stuff on and you're really protected, you can get attacked by a bear and not be in too bad of shape. You're still going to be bleeding, you're still going to have to tend to your wounds, and it's still going to damage your clothing, but you're going to survive. You might even survive twice, because these animals, they'll come back and attack you again, especially the bear. He's going to start walking away, and then he's going to come right back after you. Got to get away from him. So, but it just shows you what they offer, so you know, okay, is it worth me hunting them and gathering these materials? Bearskin coat is awesome, but you gotta get to that point where you're gonna kill a bear. I would suggest going after a bear until your hunting level is up, your shooting level, and I'm going to get to those levels in a moment too, because they take multiple bullets, unless you just happen to get that perfect shot. It's only happened to me once where I got the perfect shot and dropped him in one hit. But this shows you how much it repels the water, the 80%, 10 degree, almost 11 degree warmth bonus, just this one piece of clothing. Very valuable, but it is heavy. You can see it does slow you down a little bit, but I've never let that bother me. I've always just been geared up for warmth, because that's what's going to keep you alive if you're wandering on the map and all of a sudden a blizzard comes in and the temperature plummets. You're going to want that warmth bonus. Bearskin bedroll, awesome. It does wear down over time, so be careful of that as you use it. When you're not sleeping in it, don't leave it down. Pick it up, and it won't wear out as fast. When you sleep in this, it says in the description that the smell might scare animals away. I've never been attacked while I was sleeping in this, but I also try to sleep in safe areas. But if you have to sleep outside to warm up, or pass time or something like that, this is the safest way to do it. As we go down again, fishing tackle. This is the whole thing that you need for fishing, the tackle. This is all you need to fish. You need one line and one hook, and they're in here. So just one piece of scrap metal, which you can disassemble things, get the scrap metal, or you could find it. I think over in the gas station there's scrap metal just lying around. You do need to be at the workbench to do it, but you'll make 3 hooks from one piece of scrap metal. Let's see, these are new. Makeshift traction for your feet, better than nothing. These I have no experience with, so I'll be crafting those. It's just cured leather, which we could get from taking apart the shoes, and scrap metal. I'll have to try those out, but that's something that was added since the last time I've played. These are basic hand wraps just to keep you alive. Anything in here that says improvised, you know, it's something that's slightly better than nothing, but you can usually find better pretty quickly. Now you can see here that this is made at the forge, and you need a heavy hammer. There are a few forges in the game. I know Desolation Point has one, and I think Broken Railroad, something out that way, has one as well. The forges are difficult to use, and they're difficult to heat up to the right temperature. You end up needing to stockpile a ton of coal, and you can find that in the caves in the game. In caves, in the mining tunnels, you can come across coal. There's usually some pieces around the forge itself. They usually give you a break and let you use that. You need to heat it up to hundreds of degrees, and it takes a ton of fuel to get it that hot. So make sure anything that you want to craft at the forge, make sure that you are ready to just keep feeding it fuel, because it's gonna need it. And the heavy hammer, you can usually find them in the same area as you could find the forge. There's not a ton of them in the game, but last time I played, I think on the Xbox, I ended up with multiple heavy hammers. They can be found, but don't get there trying to make something improvised and not have the heavy hammer, or not have enough fuel, or only have, say, 10 pieces of coal, and it doesn't get it hot enough, and then you wasted those 10 pieces of coal. Make sure you have more than enough. Fishing line, very, very valuable. You need to be at a workbench to make it. Just one cured gut. You get the cured gut from any animal that you kill, the bigger animals, I should say. I don't know if you get them from rabbits or not, but like a bear, you get a ton of cured guts. So if you use all those cured guts to make the line, and all the scrap metal that you come across to make the hooks, you can pretty much keep yourself alive with fish for the entire game. There are moose in the game. I'm pretty positive that there aren't any moose in this map at all. I have dropped a moose in one shot, but remember, the moose will attack you and kill you, even after you've shot them, kind of like a bear. You make them angry and they come at you. So be prepared and have your rifle level, your skill level up pretty good before you attempt to take one on. But once you do get a moose or a bear, you end up with so much meat, it's ridiculous, and you live off of that for a long time. It's difficult with the moose and the bear to eat the meat before it even goes bad, because it'll go bad before you can eat it all. That's how much meat you'll have, and guts, and the hide. But it is very fun hunting them, but it is dangerous. Again, they will charge you. But I have dropped one in one hit. I can tell you that it can be done. I just happened to wander upon one that was standing broadside, not far from me. I aimed toward its heart, shot it, and it just dropped. It's very efficient. One bullet in the game, and tons and tons of meat, and the hide, all of that. And you can see the bonus, kind of like the bear hide coat. You can see the bonuses are well worth it, but it is heavy, and it does weigh 8.8 pounds, so it's going to stop you from being able to carry that much more weight, but you're going to be protected. Satchel gives you a little bit of a bonus in your carry weight. Here's that the wood dressing from that old man's beard lichen. So you need 3 of them for each, but it not only does it bandage you up, it prevents the infection, so you don't have to take the antibiotics. Very good for wolf bites. And then we have some more. We have our rabbit stuff, we have our bullets, things like that. Again, it tells you what you need and where to make it. Arrows. I usually only use arrows for rabbits and stuff like that. The deer are hard enough to drop with a rifle, let alone an arrow. So I don't even waste my time with that. But if I end up with an abundance of arrows, then I'll use them for rabbits. Snares, very handy. You get multiple rabbits out of one snare. There's islands on this map where you could, if you see a lot of rabbits in that area, throw it down and go to sleep for the night or whatever, wake up and you'll have yourself a rabbit. It's not a ton of food, but you can use their skin for this stuff. Tinder plugs for fires, wolfskin coat, that's very handy as well. Again, you see the warmth and weight bonuses. Much better than anything you're going to find in the house. And then if you want to fine-tune, you can hit up and down, and if you just want to see what weapons you can craft, what clothing you can craft, all that. Up top, also, next tab over, this is kind of your log. Gives you your stats, tells you what you did each day, where you went. If we go just down on the D-pad, here's those skill levels I was talking about. See, I started a fire. My fire starting went up just a little bit. As you harvest the carcasses of the animals, that'll go up. You'll get better and better, faster, more efficient, where you get more out of it. Cooking, every time you cook something, that goes up. Makes you get more efficient and faster. Same thing with ice fishing. That rifle firearm, very, very handy to get that up. And you'll get that up from shooting things, but you also get it up from those skill books. So if you see anything that talks about boosting your skill level, any books like that kind of look like magazines sometimes, definitely read those and get that rifle level up before you even start shooting things. Because at first the rifle's going to be waving all around side to side. You're going to be just unsteady with it. It's hard to use. But as you get that level up, it gets much easier to actually hit the animals and then especially drop them quickly. Same thing with archery. All these skills have skill books that you could read, so keep an eye out for them. There's lots of them in the world. This tells you as you go up and down on here, you can see it says 40% chance to start fires. As it goes up, that number will go up. As these go up, it will tell you what kind of boost you have, once you get to level 2, level 3. See, 50% chance of successful repair. This is another one, very handy to read these, because you don't always repair stuff on your first try. A lot of times it fails, and you waste time and you waste materials. We got more as we go down here, you can see. And again, it lists your bonuses, where you're at. Crafted ammunition is 20%, 50% chance. Those numbers are going to go up as your skill levels go up. So if we go back out here, this is stuff that we found out in the world. This shows you where these rock caches, where they're hidden, how many you found, how many you haven't. General notes, and then just regular statistics. It did save my 500-day game, you can see. And that is it for that screen. And then the last one is our map, which again, we're indoors anyway. So you see this blizzard. It's been going on. It's been the clock hasn't been stopped as I went through all that stuff, and it's still going on. So sometimes when you have storms like this, which are completely random, it's better to just kind of hunker down. Looks like it's easing up a little bit, but you can see by those 3 down arrows next to my temperature gauge that the temperature is still ridiculously cold. Before I end the video, I do want to show you the gas station. It is very handy. This is it. See, I wasn't far off. Remember to check in vehicles. You can also hide in vehicles to avoid animal attacks. Trunks you can get into, sometimes with a crowbar, sometimes with no crowbar. Might find a crowbar in here. tons of food in here. Always check in here behind the counter. We have shells, casings, cartridges, got some flares. You will find cash in the world. You can use it to help start fires. Lantern fuel. Lots of great stuff in here. Every time you play the game, every time you start a new game, the stuff is random. So I can't say, oh, there's usually a crowbar here or whatever, even if a locker is going to be locked where you need a crowbar or not is random. It changes every time you play the game. Nothing. Yet another toilet and almost a half a gallon of water.
Wonder if the owner's around.
These aqua tablet things that I just picked up, they'll take water that isn't potable and make it potable. So if we're limited on time, say we're out in the world and we have just a small fire going outside, and we have enough, we're completely dehydrated and dying, and we need to get water quick, we'll just melt a little bit of snow in a can, use those drops, and then we're ready to go. We have the water we need without spending the time to boil it again. Check out the nooks and crannies here. Again, you can find bullets. We got a whetstone there. Nice big jug of
Plant
fuel.
Could be useful.
Lots of it, but you gotta be careful. It is heavy. Testing sulfur. That stuff is used for making bullets. Again, we have another first aid kit. Every drawer of these tool boxes has valuable stuff in it. Here's our workbench. Here's where we could, if we click on it, we could craft if we have the materials. Hacksaw.
That'll come in
We
handy.
need that. We can use that to disassemble even shelving. Look, if we needed a ton of scrap metal, we're going to craft a bunch of fishing hooks or repair a lantern or something like that. It takes 2 hours of our time, but if with the hacksaw, we can take it apart and end up with 6 scrap metal. Okay. We also have a drawer on all these workbenches too.
There's got to be something useful in here.
Forestdale granola bar. This room, lots of drawers to search. There's a skill book. So we're going to take it. It shows us underneath how long it takes to fully research it. So it's 4 hours. So a day like today, if you are stuck in the house because there's a blizzard going on,
Could end up being useful.
then we want to be productive with the time. You could just pass time, or you could pass time by doing those skill books. You say I did pick up a rifle cartridge. There is a rifle in the game and a pistol in the game. Only one type of each. So it says 303 rifle bullet or whatever. Here's some more. Up this casing, more casing, sewing kit. Always need those. The rifle is the rifle. There's only one type. Whatever. If you have rifle bullets, they fit the rifle. Here's a lantern.
That'll come in handy.
It's in good shape, but you can repair it also with scrap metal. If we go into our screen, we're going to go down to the axe and then over to here. You can see if you hit actions, we could refuel it. We could fill it up, which might as well. It's going to be our main lantern. It takes it out of the jerry can that we picked up and puts it in. We could repair it, but we... And then we can harvest it and get scrap metal out of it. You will find a lot of these in the game. So, keep a good one, repair it, and the rest of them you can scrap or just leave. This is a functional bed. You can make this your home base if you want. There's nothing wrong with that, but you will end up with wolves at some point around it. This kind of is the heart of this section of town, and they end up here. So I never have. But there's lots of valuable stuff in here. Even these lockers, they tend to have good stuff. See, we have one here that we need the pry bar. We didn't come across a pry bar yet. Oh, looks like something might be under the bed. Maybe just a can. always good to keep that pry bar on you because you're going to run into locked cabinets all over the place. You're going to run into car trunks all over the place. You can cook in this fire barrel. So lots to search here. But I think that's about all you'll need to get going in the game. That's the basics. Again, this is a nice map to start out on as you start venturing out to everywhere else. You know, by the time you get through this map, search everywhere, maybe do some fishing, potentially some hunting if you find a rifle. You'll be able to take on the rest. It's just getting used to having to make a quick fire if you start freezing to death or you get lost. It is normal to get lost in some of the maps. Don't feel bad. Just try to look for landmarks and things like that you know, help you keep your bearings. If you're about to die and you're facing permadeath, you can find maps online. They are all laid out the same, everyone's version of the Long Dark, so you can find maps that'll give you a hint as to where you're at and where maybe shelter might be. But you got to get used to making the fire. You know, throw the sleeping bag down next to it. You can, if you need to warm up, you will get a heat bonus in that sleeping bag. So if you're just barely getting cold, your temperature gauge is just barely going down, sometimes you might be able to just hop in a sleeping bag and it'll give you what you need to warm you up. And that sounds like our storm stopped, which that could also mean that the wolves might be coming out. And the wolves are only in certain parts of the map. They don't just freely wander around. Like, wolves are in this part of town. They're out on the ice. There's plenty of sections of each map where you're never going to find any wolves. They're out there. But they are in town here. So be careful if you do make the short ways. And there is a separate bear that does come down at the edge of town. He does walk down the mountain in his loop that he makes. So that's about it for you to get started. I think I'm going to wrap the video up there, and maybe I'll make one more after this to kind of help people get started maybe in Mystery Lake. Okay, I hope you enjoyed. Thanks.